Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to The Last Viking TV. Now, my question to you is, do you think that the governors across basically New York and California are some big crybabies and really spoiled brats? Well, let's find out. As we know, and you've seen in the news, Cuomo, the New York governor, was crying to President Trump saying, "We need more ventilators. We don't have enough. We're running low. There's like 2 or 3 patients on one ventilator." Well, come to find out, Cuomo admits to having stockpiled ventilators that they're not using. They have more than what they need, and they're just they panic. They panic hoarded these ventilators, and now they got so many ventilators, they're not giving them to the rest of the states that need them, and he lied, okay? Cuomo lied. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. So ventilators have been the center of political firestorm around the COVID-19 pandemic. Democrats and prominent media figures have criticized President Trump for a shortage of ventilators, though there is currently enough ventilators for those who need one. The worry is that as the cases peak, there might not be enough ventilators. Okay, so there may not be. Not that there isn't right now, just that there may not be. But that time hasn't come yet. So the worry is at the peak there may not be enough ventilators, but we are not yet at that point as the nation attempts to flatten the curve. Governor Cuomo has admitted, however, that there are ventilators stockpiled in New York. He says, yes, there is a stockpile because that's where they're supposed to be, because we don't need them yet, Cuomo said, according to the New York Post. He says, yes, there is a stockpile because that's where they are supposed to be because we don't need them yet. But prior to that, as a Democrat, he was trying to belittle Trump and tell Trump that they're not receiving them, they don't have enough, this and this and that. It's just, I don't know. You can't trust people that lie like Cuomo did. And most likely, California Governor Gavin Newsom is also crying and lying too. They're obviously, everyone, all those governors, they all want more than what they actually need, but they're not happy with what they got. You see, and that kind of resonates with the way the world is going now in America as a society. We always want more than what we actually need. This comment has gone virtually unreported by the rest of the mainstream media. So I'll read it again so it goes mainstream on this one. Cuomo said, in quotes, "Yes, they're in a stockpile because that's where they're supposed to be, because we don't need them yet," Cuomo said, according to the New York Post. Again, this comment has gone virtually unreported by the rest of the mainstream media. The controversy around ventilators reached fever pitch after Trump appeared on Hannity. Trump says, "I don't believe you need 40,000 to 30,000 ventilators. You go into a major hospital sometimes, they'll have 2 ventilators. And now all of a sudden they're saying, 'Can we order 30,000 ventilators?'" the president stated. Many liberal commentators told their viewers that this meant Trump wasn't taking the crisis seriously. Again, many liberals, okay, people that are only using mainly half of their brain stems and not the whole portion of their brain stems. Many liberal commentators told their viewers that this meant Trump wasn't taking the crisis seriously. Oh, really? Experts have already updated their models and saying that it appears that the original worst-case scenario projections were overblown. Again, let's read that again. Experts have already updated their models and say that it appears that the original worst-case scenario projections are overblown. And so while there will be an increase in cases, it is likely that it will only be a fraction of the dire predictions made just a few weeks ago. Trump also took to Twitter to call out New York Governor Cuomo. Donald Trump to Cuomo said, thousands of federal government delivered ventilators found in New York storage. New York must distribute now. There you go. So you can't stockpile and hoard ventilators for something that you're predicting in the future that hasn't even happened yet, while other states in the United States are needing these ventilators right now. People are dying because they don't have enough ventilators at this moment, not a month or 2 months from now. That's what New York Governor Cuomo did. He knew that he was hoarding these things. I think some federal criminal charges need to be brought against Cuomo in that case. Cuomo not only criticized President Trump, he also criticized Dr. Deborah Birx, who, however, in criticizing Dr. Birx, Cuomo revealed that the Trump administration is right. Ventilators are currently in stockpile. According to the New York Post, Cuomo is keeping the ventilators in stockpile until the apex arrives. Cuomo, without mentioning Trump by name, added, I don't have a crystal ball. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but I don't operate here on opinion. I operate on facts and on data and on numbers and on projects. Okay? I hope some natural weather changes happens overnight and kills the virus globally. That's what I hope. But that's my hope. That's my emotions and that's my thoughts. Man, it sounds like an emotional diary this guy's writing or saying. The numbers say you may need 30,000, Cuomo said. That's what the numbers are saying. On Fox News, Hannity Thursday, Trump said, I have a feeling that a lot of numbers that are being said in some areas are just bigger than they're going to be. Cuomo also shot down criticism by Dr. Deborah Birx, the White House coronavirus response coordinator, about New York not using the ventilators they already have. That's right, they're not, because they stockpiled all of them and they're just keeping them there for something that may never happen. Somebody said, one of the cable news shows, the ventilators that New York needed aren't even being deployed. They're in a stockpile, Cuomo said, paraphrasing Burke's comments without naming her. Yes, they're in a stockpile because that's where they're supposed to be, because we don't need them yet. We need them for the apex. The apex isn't here, so we're gathering them in the stockpile, so when we need them, they will be there, Cuomo said. Earlier, he predicted the apex, or the peak of the state's coronavirus cases, could come in 21 days. We don't need them today because we're not at capacity today, Cuomo said. To reiterate, Governor Cuomo stated, yes, they're in a stockpile because that's where they're supposed to be, because we don't need them yet. We need them for apex. The apex isn't here, so we're gathering them in the stockpile, so when we need them, they will be there. Turns out President Trump was right yet again. The media seems to be focused on creating the impression that there is a national shortage of ventilators. Why? Why do they do that? And there's not. Some suspect that it's to create panic and to paint the Trump administration as being incompetent. See more of Cuomo's statements here at twitter.com/LionelMedia/status/1234 124-388-5569-5720-68352. Democrat New York Governor Andrew Cuomo now admits his state has stockpiles of thousands of unused ventilators. I mean, what else do you expect? They're Democrats. That's what they do. These Democratic political people, they do nothing but lie. They lie to the public, tell them false promises. I mean, look back at what Obama said about illegal immigration. He said that, oh, everyone's going to get sanctuary and all this other stuff. But Obama, under the Obama administration, they deported more illegals back to their countries and arrested more illegals than any other president in the world, in the history of the United States. He did that. You can look up those facts. We've had nothing but lies and lies and lies. You can see what Nancy Pelosi wanted to do by, and supposedly she's the one now taking credit for this $2 trillion package deal, relief fund. I don't know. It's just too many lies going around. Questions. The Hill. Were there ventilators found in the storage facility or something that the president is claiming there were ventilators found that they need to be distributed? Is there any truth to that? Governor Cuomo, that is incorrect and grossly uninformed. Now he denies it. And then he also said that that there is there. So that they are stockpiling them. So despite the fact that the New York still has ventilators stockpiled, the Trump administration is working to get more ventilators to the state. It is currently unclear how many ventilators are in stockpile. The Western Journal reports that Vice President Pence has confirmed the shipment of 2,000 ventilators directly to New York. Vice President Mike Pence said Tuesday that the federal government had sent 2,000 of the devices directly to New York added that the New Yorkers would receive an additional 2,000 by Wednesday, Fox News reported. Earlier today, FEMA from the National Stockpile shipped 2,000 ventilators to the state of New York, Pence said. Tomorrow, there will be another 2,000 ventilators shipped from the National Stockpile. Pence's comments came from Trump had already announced that the federal government had sent 400 ventilators to New York. At the time, Cuomo was requesting only 15,000 of the devices, but the numbers of ventilators being requested continues to climb as the Trump administration responds. It is unclear exactly how many ventilators New York currently has stockpiled. A 2015 ventilator allocation guidelines summary letter from top New York health experts urged the state to prepare for a health emergency, specifically citing a respiratory pandemic, and evaluated a need for the state to allocate more ventilators in the event of a worst-case scenario public health emergency. In a severe public health emergency on the scale of the 1918 influenza pandemic, however, current ventilators would not be sufficient to meet demand, the experts wrote. Even if the vast number of the ventilators needed were purchased, a sufficient number of trained staff would not be available to operate them. If the most severe forecast becomes a reality, New York State and the rest of the country will need to allocate ventilators. Efforts should be made to increase the number of available ventilators, they added. The summary noted that the state had 1,750 ventilators stockpiled and a total number of 8,991 ventilators were available in the state at that time. Many companies in the private sector, such as GM, have committed to producing ventilators to help save lives. Not on their own free will. Actually, they wanted top dollar for creating those ventilators from GM. And they were very reluctant on getting as many as reportedly needed out. And so federal law stepped in and was like, you're going to have to make these or we're going to shut you down. And you ain't going to be able to do any business after this is over in America. So GM basically was like, okay, so now here we go. Now GM's producing thousands of ventilators. As the number of COVID-19 cases has officially crossed the 100,000 mark, experts are interested in tracking how the curve progresses. New models predict that we will avoid a worst-case scenario but our officials are moving to make sure that we have enough ventilators just in case. Even if they're not needed, surely they can be kept in national stockpile. So, yeah. There you go. This is brought to you in part by truthlion.com. So, yeah, 4,300 views since it came out about 20 hours ago. So, yeah, New York Governor Cuomo, this guy right, actually I can't zoom in, but that guy right there, he's a liar. Not surprised. Please drop a subscribe and share. Thanks for watching. Until next time, The Last Viking TV is out. Have a great day and stay safe. Thank you so much.